Shaping up to be a bad week for Facebook, the company experiencing massive worldwide outages across its platforms as a Facebook whistleblower who gave the Wall Street Journal a trove, yes, a trove of documents exposing how toxic the tech company is now going public. Troves.
The thing I saw at Facebook over and over again was there were conflicts of interest between what was good for the public and what was good for Facebook. And Facebook over and over again chose to optimize for its own interests, like making more money. The version of Facebook that exists today is tearing our societies apart and causing ethnic violence around the world. It chooses profit over safety. It is subsidizing, it is paying for its profits with our safety.
Facebook is trying to push back on the claims, saying the site reflects the good, the bad, and ugly of humanity. That should be a movie. You know, Jesse, I will say that the outages were a distraction from the whistleblower, and I stand by that.
What were these outages? Did we lose Facebook?
Yes.
Where have you been all day?
I didn't even know about that.
And Instagram and WhatsApp.
You know what? I'm not hooked on the screens like some people,
Okay.
Dana. I live my life. I read. I go to the libriary. Watch everyone laughing. Is it that clear that I don't go to the library?
No.
That's clear because no one does.
Here's what I thought when I saw this. This woman comes out and says, Facebook is tearing societies apart and is causing ethnic violence around the world. Okay. Last century, what did we have? The Russian Civil War, World War I, World War II, multiple ethnic cleansings all over almost every continent. There was no Facebook then. We're going to now blame Facebook for, like, 2021, not as deadly as most of these in terms of conflict and civil war as the last century. And then we're getting torn apart here. I don't know, civil war, civil rights movement, anti-war protests. 2021, we sit on our couches and we complain. That's as tough as it gets now. I wouldn't all of a sudden say Facebook is the root of all evil. The real root of all evil is people like CBS News executives who then point the finger at Facebook while it's them, the legacy media, that's actually tearing this country apart. All Facebook is doing is letting people interact and talk about all these evil things the regular media is doing, like suppressing news, putting out fake news, you know, racial hoaxes, all that kind of stuff. Those are the real villains.
That was a pretty impressive defense of Facebook, and we should let everybody know that you're on their board.
But there's an opening.
You've actually changed the way I think about this in a way. Harold, I have a theory too that tech is always has a head start on humanity. So we build these things, and then we start using it, and then we don't know the effect it has on us until many years pass. And I think you could look at that at the highways and now the superhighways.
So if you think about what this was about here, and notwithstanding what Jesse said, they have internal documents that have been turned over, this whistleblower did, that showed that Facebook is aware of how some of their content is not altogether positive and healthy, and that it is addictive, particularly to young women. As a father of a 7-year-old who does not engage in who does not mess with social media, is on social media, and you think about some of the other things in this memo that said that they were aware that these young women were so conscious of how they looked and it might have impacted them negatively, but they didn't change any of their algorithms. Now, I don't disagree with you about whom all should be blamed. All the blame should be put on Facebook. But if you can't regulate yourself as a company like as big as this company is, one of the 5 biggest companies in the country, then Congress is going to do it for you. Zuckerberg and his team are going to have to come before the House and the Senate. This is about Marsha Blackburn and a Democratic senator whose name is escaping me at the moment.
I can picture him.
Who generally don't work together. They've come together saying we're going to, maybe Blumenthal. They've come together and say, you know what, we are going to call Facebook and Twitter and others in to tell us what other internal documents do you guys have that shows that what you're doing is harmful to young women and children. Now, the reason this came out is because they're trying to develop another set of products for children.
Yeah.
And people in the company said, wait a second, let's be clear about what's going on here before we go down this path and at least fix what we have broken before.
Yeah, I'm with you on the children stuff. It's the stuff she was blaming all the political violence on Facebook for.
No, you were right. And that's what I said, notwithstanding what you said. I think this, for me, this is a children's issue. And that if they know what they're doing and they're not fixing it, Congress should regulate the daylights out of these
I
guys.
agree with you on the children's stuff.
Kennedy, you have daughters.
I do, 12 and 16. And
You have 16 daughters?
I have 16 daughters. I have a harem. They're going to play basketball and track and soccer all at the same time. But they are on social media, and it scares the living crap out of me. It really does, because there are, it's not just the social pressure, which I think is enormous. And we have no comparison for it from when we were adolescents. I look at my girls and I think, oh, their upbringing is so different from mine. And a large reason for that is social media. But Congress can do all they want. There's going to be more platforms.
Yes.
Kids are not on Facebook. It's like Snapchat, as a parent, Snapchat
TikTok.
scares me a lot more than Facebook. What they see, what they have access to on
Yeah.
TikTok, and all these companies do is create algorithms
Right.
to make them more addictive.
Right.
That
They really
scares
do.
me.
Like they
That's what the
figure
memo
out
said.
young brains and adolescent neuroscience, and they appeal to that like cigarette companies did in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So yes, as parents, we have to be vigilant, but I agree. A private company they're not selling fire extinguishers. It's like they're selling narcissism and dopamine.
Yeah. My two
But guys,
favorite
just the
things.
difference here is they know what it's doing. It's not like they're saying we're putting it out there and whatever's happening. People at the company say, you know what? Here's what's happening with these products. They are addictive to these young women, and it's not healthy. And they say, oh, go ahead. It doesn't matter. And that's the problem for them, I think.
Last word to you,
Well,
Dana.
I think that for those who hate Facebook, then today was a great day for them, right? Because there was no Facebook.
Right.
But now I just see that the left is complaining that means there's no WhatsApp, and their constituents use WhatsApp, so now they're mad because there's no WhatsApp. And I'm really skeptical that the government is going to come in and make everything better.
Yeah.
Like, when has that ever been true? And
Amen.
I also think that we start off by saying they had a really bad press week. I mean, Facebook's probably looking like, when have we had a good press week? And where are the whistleblowers for Snapchat and TikTok and YouTube? Is another one, right? Where do you
And at
think
least
people are seeing things?
Isn't TikTok owned by China? Right?
No, not exactly by China. Well, it's like China, but the software, yeah, yes. I mean, they would say no, but the thing is...
Xi Jinping is the CEO of
There you
TikTok,
go.
and he just pulls the levers and twists the knobs.
There you go.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.